Welcome back to No Man's Sky, everyone. Jason here with a bit of a disclaimer, maybe, or a hopeful response, because I have been playing the Switch version of No Man's Sky for about 2 weeks now, and there are some things that you might not be aware, and I want to let you guys know about No Man's Sky. So I have been playing it on the Nintendo Switch. As you can see from here, let me go into the software update. I've updated it as much as it can go. It is version 4.0.4. So this is the most updated version of No Man's Sky. And there are some issues that I've noticed that are not obvious to a new player, but if you are a veteran No Man's Sky player, you will notice these things, and they might be a deal breaker for you in the game. So the obvious things are the game runs in 900p when you're docked. So right now it's 900p. If you're in mobile, it is going to be in 720p. That's not a big deal. For me, I am mostly playing this game when I'm on the go. So I have it on my screen. I'm mobile. I'm portable. I'm just playing when I'm in my bed or if I'm on a trip. So it's not a big deal. But if you play most of your games in the docked, like on a TV or something like that, No Man's Sky looks not so good in the docked portion of the game. So keep in mind, they're stretching out, 900p to whatever your resolution is. So if your resolution is like you have a 4K TV, it is going to stretch this thing out and it's going to look bad. So I'll play my, my PC or my console version, like my Xbox or PlayStation version on my TV. I save mobile just for the Switch. So that's how I do it. The small screen compensates for the low resolution, so it looks really good on the small screen. The other issue is a lot of people know that there is no multiplayer in this game. This version of No Man's Sky has no multiplayer whatsoever. There's no settlements either. So if you like the settlements, you like multiplayer, this is not going to be a great version for you. But there are a couple of other things that you guys might not be aware of. The biggest one, the deal breaker for me, is you cannot do anything with the Nexus Cube. Now, this has been like this since it launched, and I was hopeful that they would patch it and it would just give us missions, right? There is no way to get Quicksilver missions because there is no, you can't do a weekend event. You can't do any missions from the Nexus. So there is no way to get that Quicksilver, which means, guys, you cannot get a majority of these. I mean, you probably can get a little bit of Quicksilver if you do the story missions and you talk to Artemis or you talk to Nada and Polo up here in the Space Anomaly. You will get a little bit of Quicksilver, but you're not getting the hundreds or thousands and thousands you're going to need for all of this. I mean, look at all of these rewards you cannot get. You'll have to pick and choose. Like, you might be able to get maybe 1,000 total Quicksilver from all of the story missions. You're not going to be able to get the Atlas figurine. There's no way you're getting 3,000 Quicksilver out of all of that. It's crazy to me. So all of this stuff is still in here. It's still the same price, but you're not earning Quicksilver. It's kind of a deal breaker for me. It makes me sad. And we've already received a couple of patches for this game, and they still have not fixed it. I'm hopeful that hopefully in the future, Hello Games will put in at least this part of it. As I mean, this is a huge deal. That's a huge deal, you guys. The other thing that I've noticed is that there are no capes in this game. Now, it's something that if you don't like the capes, not a big deal, whatever. But for me, I like having a cape. You cannot get any capes at all. Like, you don't even get the default. Like, if you go to your backpack, there should be a cape setting right in here. So there's no capes at all. You cannot get a cape. That's kind of a deal breaker, especially when, if you look at the old expeditions, they give you capes as a reward. So what does that mean for future expeditions if we even get them on this version of the game and the Nintendo Switch version? So if I click my expedition rewards, Look at this. Where's my capes at? I don't see any capes, you guys. So maybe I'm wrong. They give you the jetpacks, so you can get the jetpacks. That's not a problem, but there are no capes in this. Oh, wait a minute. I take it back. You're allowed to get it, but there's no way for you to claim it. Like, you can't put it on. You know, number one, you can't do the expedition to get the cape. But number two, even if they somehow give us the option to get the cape or do the expedition and earn it, you can't select it. You cannot put it on. You cannot equip it because there's no way to equip it in the personal, you know, the appearance modifier. That's another big problem. And so there are other little nitpicky things that I will say about the game. There is no cross save. Like, I cannot bring my Xbox save over to my Nintendo Switch. So it's kind of a deal breaker for me because I want to, you know, play on the go, but I want to play the save that I already have. You know, my PC save, I have a 500-hour, you know, save. I want to just pop that over to my Nintendo Switch. There is no way for you to import or do any of that stuff. You can't do any of that stuff. Let's go back to my mode select. There's no way. You have to start all brand new saves. As you can see, I have some saves that I've tried and I've messed around with. There, you know, the setup is almost the same. The game, the core gameplay is basically the same. You're running around. You can still choose all of your difficulties, all that kind of stuff. You're really good. Most of everything is here, but there's little tiny things that kind of are a deal breaker for me personally. And I hope that they fix it. These are things that they can fix in the game. You know, improving the Nexus Cube or making it selectable. I want to do Quicksilver missions. I want to do the weekend event. You can't do any of that stuff on the Nintendo Switch still 2 weeks after launch, or almost a month at this point. Nah, we'll say 2 weeks. They've patched it a couple times. They still have not put in that, you know, feature in the game. There's no capes. There's no settlements. There's no multiplayer. So I know a lot of people brought up the fact that they want to be able to, you know, give their son or daughter or whoever, their kids, the Nintendo Switch version, and then they can play on the Xbox and they can play together. You cannot do that. There is no multiplayer in this game at all. So now I will say there is a type of multiplayer, so you can still see other people's bases. If you go into your Discovery tab, you can still find, you know, you can still upload your discoveries if you want to, and other people can find your discoveries as well. So I've visited other people's bases that are, you know, on, hey, look at, these are different system bases right here on this planet. So there are systems, there are different bases on these planets from different systems. I like that, but there is no actual multiplayer in this game at all, this version of the game. So I'm hoping, you know, if you're thinking about getting the Switch version, I think it's definitely worth it, you guys. I think that it is a great version for the go. If you've never played never played No Man's Sky before, this is a great version. But if you've played No Man's Sky on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, or anything else, any other platform, this is like a step down version of the game. You're going to be a little bit disappointed. There's things that you're going to not even think about until you start playing. Like for me, the capes. That kind of threw me off. Like, why don't we have capes? Or Nexus Cube. Why can't we do weekend missions? Why can't I earn any Quicksilver? I'm not going to get any of those rewards from the Quicksilver merchant because there's no way to get that currency at this point. This might change in the future, but right now, as of October of 2022, this game is kind of like a mobile, like I would say this is a mobile version if you have nothing else to play, or if you want to play No Man's Sky and you want to, you know, just go on the go, like if you're on the train or whatever. This is a good version. It is not as great as I was hoping it would be. Like it's 30 frames a second until you get close to a base. And now, you know, the frame rate, because it's, you know, I am docked right now too. So this is the docked gameplay. You think it would have a little bit more power to it, but it's still, that frame rate will dip when you're near a big base like this. This is a huge base. This is from Kadena. She made this base and it looks amazing, but I would say limitations on the Switch are very, very apparent. I'm hoping they fix it in the future. But right now, I would say if you have another version of No Man's Sky, or if you're playing already, you don't need this version. You can go get another version. You know, if you want it on the go, the Steam Deck version is going to be better. Now, I will say the battery life on this version of the game is great because it runs at 30 frames a second. If you want your battery life on your Steam Deck to last longer, don't go 60, go 30. You know, so you are going to trade off a little bit of battery power for that performance. And it just looks like they cut a little too deep when they were cutting features out of the Switch version. But, I mean, that is my opinion. What do you guys think? Have you been playing the Switch version of No Man's Sky? Let me know down in those comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.